I am live. We are live now, I believe. Let's see. Let me check the links. We got 16 people joining in already. How's everybody doing? We're just going to give it a couple more minutes. And, let me check the stream. All right, cool. I'm just going to give it 1 minute and wait for some people to join. And then we're going to get started. How is everybody doing today? I hope everyone's having a great day wherever you guys are. Let me know where you guys are from in the chat. Hi, Free Fire. How are you doing? How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's doing nice. It's a beautiful day over here. And I hope everyone is having just a wonderful day. All right. I want to give it 1 more minute till we do this. Hi, Bajorn, D-Gen. That's what I like to see. All right. Okay, let's get started. So good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you guys are. Welcome to the Pionex/Trade Tactics live stream. We have a very special episode for you today with my friend Trade Tactics. Everybody, you guys already know him if you got on his live stream. But for those of you on the Pionex live stream who don't know him, he is a YouTuber with 50,000 subscribers and an algo trader that focuses on trading view strategies on cryptocurrencies, and he uses ChatGPT to optimize them as well. And today we're going to be going over a strategy he did that was able to return 100x or 10,000%. Those are some eye-popping results. So I hope you are as excited as I am. And before we jump in and I welcome him on, let's just take a moment. I just want to take a moment to thank you everybody for joining, and be sure to like and subscribe for the video, just for the YouTube algorithm, so we get this out to more people. So without further ado, let me add Liquid here to the stream. Hey, Liquid, how are you doing?
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks for the invite. Okay.
Of course. You want to do a little quick introduction about yourself as well? I'm sure everybody already knows you, but for the people that don't.
Yeah. So I run the Trade Tactics channel and have a fairly large Discord where we do community building of open source strategies. So it's a collective of traders who are looking to get into algo trading and with the goal of preparing for the next bull market and taking advantage of the everything we can do going into the future. So there's a lot of consolidating now and community building.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing or developing strategies for algo trading, or trading crypto in general?
I've been trading crypto since around 2018, and I was in manual trading, and quite quickly I learned the hard way, as most people do, how much skill is involved. And if I got into crypto in 2017, I'm sure I would have just gotten lucky with it, with the pumps that happened there. And so after that, there are a lot of people who get into crypto like that, try to find different ways to manage their profits after they have some success. But oftentimes it's a lot of luck. So it's about minimizing the luck and finding reliable strategies that can carry forward long term, that are more sustainable. So I started looking into algo trading because I wanted to take the emotions out of trading, and I like minimizing screen time. So being at the charts and having 4 different screens open is really cool, but I prefer to minimize that and watch the trades from my phone or whatever the bot's doing. So the bot should be able to execute, in theory, the exact same strategy that I was trading with in real time, and all I have to do is kind of babysit it. So I kind of take a step back and let the bot do the work for me.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing because I am a manual trader too. It's definitely sexy to have four screens and all those like numbers and all those candles going up and down, right? It's like a serotonin hit to your brain just watching the charts.
Yeah, I
But
totally agree. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but it's not an efficient way of trading, and that's why we have been focused on algo trading bots or just like regular trading bots in general. And I think that's really the future for people who understand it, and for those people who don't, they might be a little bit left behind unless they have some type of edge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I guess the interesting part is you're using like ChatGPT and AI to help you like create or optimize these, strategies. I guess a quick question before we go into your strategy and things like that. What do you think is the importance of AI in crypto trading?
Okay. So AI has, when ChatGPT came out, I immediately knew what I wanted to use it for. So there was people who were using it to construct grocery lists for them and all kinds of, like just, I guess, writing your essays, people writing essays at home.
Cheat on school.
Yeah, and I immediately thought, okay, it can code, so I wonder if it can code in Python or PineScript. So I I looked into it, and it did, and there was, of course, there's a way to go with it because there's some issues with it was coding in older language of PineScript, but I'm assuming that that's all. Actually, right now, ChatGPT can connect to the internet if you have a pro plan. So now it can look at the PineScript manual for you and then resolve any compilation errors, things like that, which is really awesome. So I think the uses for it are, there are so many possible combinations of trading rules that you could have, and it's able to catalog all those for you and then input them all one by one, or like just list them for you. And so it takes the heavy lifting out of having to manually think of all the possible long and short rules that you could have with a given strategy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it really just helps you kind of optimize the process as well, right? Kind of thinking about
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ways to apply it.
Rule building is the number one hardest thing, I think, in building a strategy. So like if you're using a trading tool, like any indicator, so RSI or MACD, there are so many things you could do with an RSI or MACD. There's so many different settings you could use, and then different rules. You could smoothen it out, or you could make it more finding short-term trades or more long-term smooth trades. And then from there's like a signal line you could put in. There are so many different ways you could utilize RSI. So ChatGPT helps break all that down. And so while the early versions of ChatGPT weren't able to completely code a strategy from scratch. So if you just went in there generically, not knowing the right questions to ask, then you might not have had the same amount of success. Like, for example, if you just said, build me a trading strategy, that's too generic. But if you go in there and you already have kind of a backbone of that, you have an RSI that you already trade with, and if you
Mm-hmm.
paste the source code from that RSI that you're already trading with, and you ask it, hey, what kind of rules could you suggest for trading with this? Or if you already have a trading strategy and you just say, hey, I want to enter when RSI is above this level, right? I want it to take profit once we're in the oversold level, then
Mm-hmm.
it can do that for you. So, and you don't need to necessarily know how to code to do that.
Yeah.
And even though I knew how to code, it would still help me. So it could help people who already do know how to code, but it can help people who don't know how to code at all, which that's kind of that's to me the most revolutionary thing that we've seen in a very long time.
Right. So I guess that just a quick follow up to that question. How what is your experience in coding? Like, do we have to know how to code to be able to use your strategies, right, or to be able to understand it, or like even make it? I guess that's like two separate questions.
You don't necessarily. So I share a lot of my strategies as open source versions, so people can take it out of the box and then use it just as is. And I kind of have the recommended time frame that I've been using on, and those are just prototypes. But there are traders who want to build off those, so they want to add different layers to it to reduce the false entries, because they're very simple prototypes that I've shared just to show that, like, hey, this really simple concept can be worked on and can be refined to have an even more successful strategy. And sharing those backbones is kind of the original building blocks of a strategy. So I'm kind of like the first person to go to share all of that around on YouTube, and I've seen some of the creators taking that initiative too. So I think I'm changing the way that people are gatekeeping it, and just by sharing it openly. But also, yeah, you don't need to code it. Like, of course, on Pionex, I share most of the signals there. All you got to do is click the button to subscribe to the signals, and then it'll trade for you. So you don't necessarily need to understand how it all works. But the trading mentality that I want to foster is where people do understand. So you don't need to, but I always appreciate people who come into the Trade Tactics Discord and actually ask those good questions, and who are really trying.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That's definitely very good. So I mean, okay, just a quick thing. If you guys have questions, just put it in the chat. We're gonna be answering some questions at the end. So if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the chat, and we will be answering it after we go over the strategies or along the way, whenever we can get to them. So be sure to leave some questions there. Okay, so that is definitely very cool. So let's get into like the meat of it. Do you want to share like your strategy and provide a little overview and kind of like what goes into the strategy I've made?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been refining this Bollinger Band strategy, and I'll just
You want to
stream it
share your
really.
screen? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, let me put it on the screen. We're gonna Trade Tactics is gonna give you guys some alpha, and just so you guys know, if you guys want, you guys don't have to develop these bots for yourself, right? Liquid has already done the work for you. You guys can copy his bot by signing up through his referral link, which is in the description. So just sign up and through his link in the description, and you guys are able to copy some of his bots for free. Only if you guys sign up through his link. So you guys should definitely do that to be able to access the bot that we're going to be talking about. And there you go. Boom. It's on the screen.
Yeah. So this is one of the Bollinger bots that's on Pionex, and I just make it free for anyone who uses the Trade Tactics referral. So I think Jay's going to link that. It's also in the video.
Yep.
It should be in the video description. But what I want to do is add a lot to this too, and keep improving it. So it's easier to trade, generally speaking, as just to get into this. It's easier to trade on the higher time frames because a lot of the money moves on like the 3-4 hour chart, even a 12-hour or daily chart. And then there's a lot more randomness on these smaller time frames. So you can see this all correctly, right?
Yeah, I see it. Can you guys see this in the chat? Just type a yes in the chat if you can see this. I think there's like a 5-second delay, so we gotta wait a little bit.
Sure.
On the stream. Let us know if you can see this, because we don't want to be like just kind of like streaming to ourselves. Yes. Okay, we got a yes.
Cool.
All right, cool.
So this strategy works with the Bollinger Band. So it's one of my favorite ones because the Bollinger Bands, when they squeeze like this, can often find the big moves. And so when we break below this lower Bollinger Band, it'll enter a short, assuming that the market's going to keep trending. And likewise, when there's a break above the upper Bollinger Band right here, then the bot enters a long position. And so this strategy, going back, this is 20,000 candles of data. And I know this strategy also can work on the 24-minute chart or the 30-minute chart, but to get it to this point where it works on the 30-minute chart, to go any lower than that, like a lot of people want to have a bot that just scalps on the 1 minute and kind of can take a 0.1% profit, 0.1 here, and it just waits until it ticks over in a profit, then it takes it and keeps going in. And those kinds of strategies can work. This one is the win rate is lower, so it's only like a 1 in 3 win rate. But the wins that you have, if I go to the performance summary, the wins that you're getting are your average win is almost triple your average loss. And
sorry to interrupt. Can you zoom in a little bit? I think it's harder to see. If you can like make the letters bigger. I don't know.
On this one,
I don't know if that's. I think you can just, if you're on a Mac, you can. I don't know if you're on a Mac or PC.
I could stream my Chrome tab. This is the TradingView app, so I could go to the
Chrome
TradingView website and then stream from
Someone
there.
said it's a little pixelated.
Yeah, I can. 1 second. Just let me switch my screen really quick.
Yep. Hold on, guys. Give it 1 second. It's we're gonna zoom it in for you. So yeah, if you guys have questions in the chat, definitely leave it in. Someone asked what the trading fees are on Pionex. It's really low. It's 0.05%, so not even close to 1%. It's not even. It's literally 0.05 of 1%. It is a tiny amount. Let's see.
1 moment. So I can zoom if I'm on the browser. So yeah, I'll just change it really quick.
Sounds good. And Eddie asks, which strategy does Liquid find that has the best win rate? So every strategy that Liquid makes has been backtested. That's how we know, basically based on the backtest results, if it's made 100x or 50x or 1x, right? So the win rates, I mean, Liquid could cover it, but the win rates, it's based on the Pionex app. If you sign in, you can see the results, the backtested results, and usually on Liquid's channel, all the win rate is published as well. So you can see like, oh, this strategy might have a really high percentage return, but the win rate is lower. Or it could be very high win rate, but the percentage return is lower. So it's definitely a kind of balancing act. You have to see which one is more important to you. And every strategy is obviously back tested, right? There's no way anyone can list it just like without back testing. It's just like, oh, this random strategy is going to make 100x. Like, no, we're not going to do that. That's just that's very not professional. And Barry said, for those of us who can't use Pionex, can the script be ported to TradingView? Yes, the script. I think Liquid provides the scripts, but most people just wants to copy the bot, and everyone actually should be able to use Pionex. Just you just have to sign up for Pionex Global, and everyone should have access to it. If you guys do not, you guys can message me on Discord or Twitter. My Twitter I'll link my Twitter in the chat, or you can message us in the Pionex Discord channel on Liquid's Discord. Here is my Twitter in the chat if you guys have questions as well. Okay, I see you guys.
Yeah, do we have an invite to the Trade Tactics Discord? You could probably put that.
I can. Yeah, let me put that. I'll go get that right now.
Let me just send
I'll
it.
go get it right now. And I think it looks better. Oh wait, let me do this. Let me hide this.
So I'm zoomed in now. Is that enough?
Oh yeah, how does that look? That looks really good to me. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just I can link you the Discord link if you want, or
I got it.
Okay, sweet. So this strategy 35, it's around 36% profitable, meaning the win rate is just over 1 in 3, but the average winning trade compared to the average losing trade is far less. So when you lose, you only lose around on average 1%. And when you're winning, like the largest winning trade is very big, and the largest losing trade is around half. So almost 10% largest winning trade. Largest losing trade is only almost 5%. So in that sense, based on backtesting, that's what's giving this curve. Now, one of the things, so this strategy is the premium Bollinger Band strategy, and all of the source code here. Let me open up this source code. So this source code here, I've shared all of this in the it's $25 to join the VIP. I have a more basic version just for free, so anyone can go in and grab the free version and tune it as well for pretty much any coin or equity. This strategy, though, I'll say works in the breakouts, like markets that break out a lot. So Ethereum, a lot of cryptocurrencies break out. Now, if a market's trending sideways, this is going to have a hard time. And you can tell where it has a hard time because there's these big peaks and then fall off. So recently, the strategy looks like we're currently in a period of drawdown. Now, the max drawdown on this configuration is 19%. So this little peak from the top coming all the way down would be 19%. So if you started the bot at the very top, you would be in loss now until there's a recovery and then it continues to go up. So it's important to keep that in mind when running these strategies. If you started the strategy at this peak, you would have taken some loss and then it would have continued upwards. So you got to keep in mind where you are, like contextually, when you start the strategy. So if I showcase this, you can actually see exactly what I mean here. So I'll just, if I click this line on the chart here, it's going to time travel me on TradingView. One second. I'll minimize this a little bit more so you can see. Where's price? Down here. Okay. So at this level around here, if I click that, this area, Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, that's highlighted, and that's right before this equity starts going up. So why did it do well? Well, there's a huge short that was caught by the bot right as soon as the dump came in. Yeah. Perfect short on this one.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect trade execution. Shorts from the very beginning of the dump, closes at the very bottom of the dump.
Yeah.
And so that's where the bot scoops up the profit. There's a little bit of drawdown here. This mountain starts coming down a little bit. So there's a winning trade here.
Some good winning trades right
there. Some good trades. And then I'm assuming at some point there's going to be a little bit of drawdown, like this chop here. This is the chop. And the lower time frame you go, the more chop that you have.
Yeah.
So a lot of traders get faked out by this and washed out. So the trick is to not get compromised in these scenarios, because the bot will be in the correct direction once the market moves this long on the 3rd or the 4th, right? Caught that long, and I'll just show you like how big of a move that was. That was just a 6% gain. So you had to take a little bit of chew here. So these were lost trades. So that's why the strategy wins around 1 in 3.
Right.
But it balances out. This clearly balances out, and because the strategy has there's this other filter here. Can you see this other line that changes color? That's just an EMA. So it's a filter to make sure that it doesn't short when it's above, just to be safe, because the crypto markets, it's a little bit psycho. So that's just a little bit of safety. But then when we're close to the EMA line, there's a little bit of weakness here. So that could be optimized a little bit better. And a way you could do that, for example, would be like adding a no trade rule, meaning it won't trade here, but you have to figure out how to do that. So if the market is consistently flat, then there are ways to detect when it is flat. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. You would just add a flat filter rule to that. and to try to minimize those. Now you're never going to have a perfect there's no like 100% win rate. If you see a strategy that claims 100% win rate, now I might do it for like clickbait, but when I get into the video, I'll explain that it's not truly like 100%. But now, and so yeah, every strategy has drawdown, every single one. So you have to keep that in mind, that there's going to be periods where the money is exchanging hands near the bottom. There are big firms closing their shorts in that area and opening longs, and they want to drive price down. And if you're trading manually and you understand that, you can take advantage of that
area, right?
Most traders get wiped out in these areas, though. So the bot won't, but if you turn off the bot because it's losing trades in this area, and then you might miss out on these big moves. So it's about it's about not blowing your accounts, but to do that, just one, don't over leverage, and two, if you want to put in a lot of money into a bot that's not really tested, the bot might not work in every market. Ethereum might go flat for several days, like here. There was just no trade. But could you imagine if, just based on how the rules work, if this price was crossing above and below this EMA line, or if the Bollinger Band was slightly tighter, maybe it would have been opening and closing some more trades. But luckily, this was really good. It took some profit and then didn't trade. That's what the goal is.
So what it looks like to me is like, what I have noticed as well is just kind of if someone new starts a bot and then it's in a period of consolidation, you might just have a period of drawdown and then they get discouraged. But then but the thing is, you have to look for the long term, right? Because this is tested in the long term, it returns a profit. And as I see on the percentage profitable, it's only 35% percentage profitable, but the strategy overall is profitable. It's actually up 412%. So you're gonna have a lot of small drawdowns, it seems like, and sometimes, like you just mentioned, if you bought it at the top, right? If you started the bot at the top and it goes down 20%, you're gonna draw down 20%, and people might get scared. But the thing is, if you look at this overall this equity curve, it is positive and it's up 4x, right? So a lot of people just don't understand that you have to hold for the long term, or you have to actually understand when a big move is coming and try to time opening the bot.
Yeah. And again, this 412% is 20,000 candles only. So, well, that's a lot of candles because everyone's 30 minutes. But if I did a deep back test, I could go back to, let's say, the earliest date.
Oh, this is only like that was only like a 2-year back test.
Yeah. So if I go, let's see what it is. This configuration, right? I could optimize it for the long term, but drawdown goes up. Now we're above 2,500% gain. And
look at that. That's crazy. 2,000.
Yeah, but exactly what you're saying. Like there is periods of drawdown here where like you wouldn't be making any capital during this period. This is a huge area of the bot would kind of be going back and forth where it would make some and then lose some. But then as soon as it hits this trade, which is around the 2172 mark, that's 2,172 trades. Now there's 2,800 total closed trades around this mark, though, in back testing, which I don't know if I can click it if I'll have enough candle data, but that's probably when the market started really trending. So the goal is to just have the bot like watching the market and not destroying the account by over trading during these periods. So a little bit of drawdown's okay as long as you are active during this period.
What is the blue line? Is that the price?
That is
or is that holding?
Let me see if that might be the. Now I'm on. Wait, let me just check on the app because on the desktop version it's freezing.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, basically, this is just one strategy. Like Liquid has a lot of different strategies. This is like a shorter term one. I know Liquid has even like better performing strategies, and we can kind of like show you the performance of that as well.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, there's the. Let me just reset the chart. So I have one of my favorite charts to trade it has been the FXS chart. And so this is another strategy that I have been running. And if I do a deep pack test of every month, so this one is 60% profitable, meaning like basically it'll win approximately 6 out of 10 times, or almost 2 in 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll show you why that is, but it takes its profit and then will re-enter during trending markets like this, where it doesn't know exactly where the reversal is going to be in this big area. But these are really good trades, and then it'll just open on the next candle. So it wants to secure profit, and that's statistically just based on backtesting what the most secure level is to take the profit at. And then it opens again, took its profit, opened again, took its profit, and at some point it's going to top out and it'll take one loss. Like right here, there was a long at the top, took the loss, but that's the fee that you pay to ride the whole wave up. Now there are other ways you could do it, right? I don't have to have the stop loss take profit on. I could just ride the wave up, and it would collect the whole wave. And there's a short here. It won one short and then lost one towards the bottom. So it will keep going until the market reverses, and it will ride the whole wave down. So these are all shorts, short. And that's why it's getting the 60% win rate.
Mm-hmm.
And the fee that you have to pay for these kinds of gains, like 749.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude, that's even higher than what we were talking about. That's even higher gains than what we said in the video title. That's 749x. We were only talking about 100x. That is a crazy strategy. How are you able to come up with this?
Well, this is based off, just like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'll share the backbone for free, like the open source version. The backbone for this is just the Ichimoku strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the if you go to which channel is it in? I have like forums where people can share their working scripts. So if you're in the Trade Tactics Discord, go to working scripts, and then the first post it's pinned to the very top. It's the full scripts, the open source strategies. Now there's a bunch here. So this one's a version of the Ichimoku cloud, and there are traders who have come up with different take profit and stop loss settings for the base level one. And this is just, I just built off it. So I just added a couple extra layers and then dialed them in for this. So it's pretty standard. That's really why I hope people do. I really hope people are doing these kinds of strategies. There's another one. One of my moderators in the Discord has an M algo strategy that's really good, and that's in the working scripts tab as well. I think it's been bumped to the very top. There's even people typing in it right now because they're modifying it. So that strategy is doing really well as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
and
keep in mind though, the total closed trades matters. That's a huge, like 1,308 is a huge statistical. I could do a deep back test too, down to the first available day. So the total closed trades matters for the sample size. That's over 1,000,000%. Now, if this strategy were running with these settings all the way back when this coin was first dropped back in 2021, these are the percent gains that you would have seen. Now, the back testing is only one component of all of this, because forward testing is the next component. And our goal as algo traders is to map on the back testing into future possibilities, because there's no guarantee that this will work in the future. Because let's say that a bunch of different investors come in and they trade with different indicators or different money, or they want to fake people out. Now, the trends of the market could completely change. So no guarantee that like the big money that's trading this coin right now is going to continue. But while it is working, I'm going to be taking advantage of this trend. But the total close trades does matter because that's a fairly large sample size. And if you have a strategy and it only has 20 total close trades, if you look at the stats, that's not a large enough sample size to know whether it's the strategy just winning by pure luck
Is
or
that a 1,000,000%?
yeah. Yeah.
What
It
the
is.
hell? I've never seen a percentage return that high. That's even in a back test, that's 1,170,912% returns.
Yeah. So you gotta watch out for there's things to watch out with algo trading, like repainting, for example. So if I use non-standard candles, I'm using standard candles right now. But
Right.
if I were to switch to Heikin or Renko or any of these, there's a TradingView page that they wrote up specifically warning that it's unacceptable to use Heikin candles because look at that. Like look at it looks great on backtesting. What is that in the that's in the billions now?
Billions?
Yeah, but this will repaint. This is repainting. Meaning the trades you see on the chart will not appear in real time. These are I can show you. So the way to just for a quick tutorial, if you are there's bar replay mode that you can use on TradingView, and it won't even actually let me use bar replay mode for Heikin because it just won't let me use bar replay mode with Heikin. Now
it's just like the wrong prices, right? Like the prices aren't.
Yeah,
like,
it won't work in real time, unfortunately. Now I even have a rule in the Discord: no posting Heikin charts because of this.
Yeah.
Now it looks really smooth and everything. Like when you there's no there's no drawdown. You know how I was showing you the mountains and the valleys before. There's nothing here. Now
okay.
There should be something alarming when you see something just like this.
That's insane.
So, for example, sometimes there'll be like scammers who come into the Discord and just post something like this.
Yeah.
And then they'll they'll DM you and they'll try to get you to deposit some funds somewhere to like take advantage of this opportunity. It's not an opportunity, I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the warning. That's definitely very crazy.
So yeah, standard candles only is the rule for if you're going to be an algo trader. That's the one rule to minimize the risk. There's a page you can look up if you just Google repainting TradingView, it'll take you to a web page on it.
Mm-hmm. How do you think? Okay, so someone asked, what about Pepe? Will you have a algo strategy on Pepe?
Oh, I did it. Well, I did the. What did I do on Pepe? I used some different settings on this. Actually, what's interesting is this isn't half bad, by the way. The Bollinger strategy on FXS. I'm on the Bollinger strategy with this is the premium one.
Mm-hmm.
These are the settings. Length 49. I could optimize this probably. I'll just change it by 1 and see what happens. It's going down, so I'll try to go back to 49 and then I'll go to 50. So maybe it'll top out, but yeah, it does top out. So around in this area, you're okay. There's a 200 length EMA filter as well. So yeah, that's actually not bad, by the way. It's like pretty good. Now, this compounding. This is percent of equity. So this means these numbers you'll get if you reinvest your profits back into the bot. So it'll reinvest 100% of the account back into the bot this way. If you were just to do it with a flat order, this will be less, far less.
Yeah. So what do you think about using percentage of equity, like your whole position in the trade over and over versus, I guess, like a certain amount of coins or a certain amount of equity?
It's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, like if you had let's say you had a $50 account and you just were like, well, if I lose this $50, then I lose the $50. But if you make 2,000% on $50, that's pretty good. So the risk, when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, well, you've accepted the risk. The risk is $50, and if I make 2,000%, then I make 2,000. You know, assuming that history repeats or that the strategy holds up.
You know, Abdullah just said, I have 50. Can I start trading? You know, if you have 50, I guess that would be a perfect strategy. Just kind of like, you know, if you're ready to lose to 50, if it works out, you will gain 2,000 or 20x your $50. If it doesn't, then you're going to lose $50. So it's kind of the profit and the goal is way larger than what you're risking at the moment.
You don't necessarily have to lose all of the $50. You just have to keep in mind like what the max drawdown should be, right? So if the drawdown is far higher than this, then there could be something going on. And so riding these mountains all the way down, that's a normal drawdown. So if you put 50 in, maybe you're down here and you're at 40, but you should be going back up. And if this mountain were to crash in the future, I don't know what this chart will look like in the future. I can't predict that, but I can like try my best to tune the strategy and forward test it. And with a small account of $50, that's a risk I'm willing to take. But every trader has to assume their own risk and understand risk management.
Yeah, that's a very good way of looking at it. So Bjorn asked, what about longer time frames in sideways market, like 6 hours or 10 hours?
Yeah, so it's higher time frames you will avoid most or like exponentially more of the chop, that sideways chop. So if the market goes flat for an extended period of time, like on the lower time frames, this would be very, very bad period for the bot. And you want to be in when the market's really moving. So yeah, higher time frames, way, way, way easier. Now this to me, this counts as sideways. If I went up to the daily, then it would be even, you would avoid a lot more of that. So you want to be in during these really big moves, but not necessarily during like these moves here. Like this is just like a few candles on the daily chart, but on the lower time frames, those would destroy the bot. Not necessarily destroy, but it would be a more challenging market because the trend is not clear yet.
So I mean, I guess for this coin specifically, you would say the shorter time frame works better because the longer frame, there's a lot of sideways action. Like how does the results look on the like longer time, maybe like 6 hour or 4 hour or something like that?
Oh, well, I'd have to retune it for the far larger time frame. But like this, for example, this chop would be really, really difficult for the lower time frame. Now, in the higher time frame, it's just one false trade or two false trades. So when you're in on these big moves, then that's where you want to be in. But this, yeah, I'd have to retune this for a larger time frame because the length of the Bollinger Band, the volume, the volatility is it's a lot different. So
understood. Do you want to show? Before more questions? Do you want to show them your strategies posted on Pionex, or do you want me to show them where they can see it?
Oh yeah, you could show them. Yeah, if you want to start streaming.
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Let me just show you. Like you guys seen liquid strategy. I'm just gonna show you where you can see it on. Let me see on the website. All right, I think I see my own screen. So if you guys want to test out or even see some of the backtesting, the basic backtesting results for liquid strategies, just go to the website on the homepage, go under more, and then go to Pionex GBT. We're going to be updating this to have a marketplace up at the top. But right now you have to go through this. So under more and go to Pionex GBT, and then go to the GBT marketplace. And then you can see the trade tactics. So all the strategies are under trade tactics. For example, this is a Ichimoku cloud strategy, right? If you sign up through his referral link, you guys can get this for free. And you guys can see like this is on, if you subscribe to it. Oh, I'm not signed in. Oh, wow. Okay. I should probably sign in. But if you guys see this and you guys see a description plus the YouTube link and as well as a back test. For example, in the past year, this returned 5x. And when you put it on max, this has returned, how much is that? 10,000%. So around 100x, right? So this is the one that you guys are able to copy for free. And if you guys of course, Liquid also has more premium strategies as well. For example, the premium Ichimoku cloud, I think that's just more optimized, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's more optimized for like more of a broad market. Now I might add a couple more filters to that, but the one that I'm really excited about adding is the smart money concepts bot that I'm working on right now. So I've gotten some good. There's going to be a lot of coins you can choose to for it.
So even more strategies coming up.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
I'm doing this with all of my free time. I'm really passionate just about algo trading in general. So and I'm really responsive in the Discord. So if anyone is like really wants to learn if this is for them, then just come through the Discord, ask your questions. I'm fairly responsive.
Yeah, I posted the link in the chat. Yeah, see, for example, the Ichimoku investor system, you guys can, it's based off the FXX and it's 30 minutes, right? And you guys can use leverage as well. And all you have to do is type in the amount you want to copy. So for example, if you want to use the $50, I'll do 1x leverage. When you do backtest, it's all on 1x leverage, right?
Yeah, that's 1x. If I showed you the 2.5x leverage, then the results are actually quite insane. I don't think
better.
Yeah, they get even better. But the risk, of course, the risk goes up. So there's some logic that you just input into the code, and then it calculates your risk, and then it adds extra leverage, so it increases your margin, and it could pump out different massively. The results go massively up, but then you have to calculate your risk as well. So it does that all for you,
right?
Yeah, and that's why I do, like, if people want to use leverage, especially with algo trading, you should be backtesting your leverage. Like you could find the exact amount of leverage that you want to be using and not going above that so that you're minimizing your risk, minimizing the risk that you will have the drawdown on your account.
So I'm conservative. I'm going to use the 1x leverage. So I'm okay with losing $50 or $500, but I'm just going to do 50 because we were talking about 50. So all you got to do is press start copying, and that's it. I guess there's advanced settings now where you can put in take profit, but I don't recommend using it because for Liquid strategy, he has his own views and own setup, obviously. And if I look at the testing in the past year, this returned 7x with a 16% drawdown. So that's perfectly okay with me. So
yeah, so the stop loss, there is a stop loss in the strategy and take profit, but it comes through at the candle close. So that works in both directions, meaning if you're in a long trade and there's a really big bullish candle and it goes above the take profit and it closes, you'll take that extra amount, whatever the additional is above the take profit, and so that kind of balances out though with if there's a reverse candle and you hit your stop loss, it'll go below the stop loss potentially. So if you want to use the stop losses live, then you can do that. Like Pionex can set your order if you don't want to negotiate that randomness. But the reason I use it is because it's back tested in anyway. So using the live orders make me feel more secure, but it might make you feel more secure. But the back testing makes me feel the most secure. Even if there's a trade that's going bad, I really just brush it off because
trust the system.
It's statistics, yeah.
I will trust the system too. So that's why I'm not putting in a stop loss. So all you guys got to do, press copy, press OK, and it starts the bot. And that's it right here. Boom. Super easy, super simple. Anyone can do it. No coding knowledge required. And let me just check out some of the other bots as well. And so before when I'm doing this, Cian asked when you bought based on this strategy.
I'm not sure exactly what your question is.
The new bot that you were developing.
Oh, the smart money concepts.
Yeah.
So I've got it working on a bunch of different coins right now, but I'm just trying to see if I can add any additional layers to it. So right now it's a very simple system, but and it gives me a lot of security knowing that it works in multiple markets. But should be out fairly soon. I'm also going to add those as signals to the VIP section of the Discord. So there'll be a bot. There'll be manual trading if you want to use those for guidance in your trades, and it'll be listed on Pionex.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah. So when that comes out, you guys can come over and copy it. We're gonna have it listed. So okay, so I copied that one, and also this is the premium Ichimoku cloud. What do you recommend using this on, FXS or BTC?
The Bitcoin works on the higher time frame. So again, we talk like it's a little bit more stable using the higher time frames, but it'll be a little bit slower moving. So if you're a little bit more patient, or if you want higher liquidity, then Bitcoin is just a higher liquidity coin. But then also it's because it works on the 4 hour, you're also not going to run into, well, it's resilient. It's more resilient to overloading.
Can I see can you share the back testing results for that one?
I don't know if I have those available right now. I didn't prepare them, but I can always post them in the Discord server.
Yeah, that's cool. So
up.
Max, yeah, no, that's okay. So you don't use the leverage for that one on your testing, right?
Not on my, well, I haven't tested. I could test it.
So for BTC, I'm more comfortable with BTC. Annualized is reached. So is this more of a trend following one also? Is this like a higher percent profit, or higher hit rate, or less hit rate but higher profit?
That one it's a trend following system, and I think it's over 50% win rate. It wasn't as high as 60%. Now if I turn the take profit all the way down, like to like 0.5%, the win rate could be really, really high, but your win ratio, like the amount that you're gaining, is less when you do that. So there's a trade-off. So this one is fairly balanced, where you have a fairly okay win rate, and the net profit is fairly okay too.
I like that. I like the more balanced approach. I don't like seeing trades lose all the time. So like a 50% win rate is good enough for me. So yeah, and if you guys look, right, this strategy is actually higher than what our video title says. Annualized, this returned 217x over the period of 2 years on Bitcoin. And this is during the bear market too, which is crazy, right?
Yep.
So this is a very crazy backtested result. So I'm gonna copy with 500, because like this is more of a safer strategy. So I'm gonna be copying this one as well. So I did see one, the DEMA strategy, that I don't think performed as well as the other two. Can you tell me it didn't perform as well as the other two? Like, what are some of the, I guess, down negatives sometimes?
So long term, you can look at that equity curve just on the graph there. It's still up on net on the max chart, but more locally, it's I just have to re-optimize it for the more local markets. But it looks like it's starting to turn up a little bit more now. But the more recent markets, it's not favoring it. So not every strategy is going to work in every market, but I'm adjusting that demo one. And one of the ways that someone in the servers adjusted it is the algo version. So in the working scripts section in the Discord, the algo is based off the double EMA strategy, or the demo strategy.
And okay, very cool. Yeah, and if for those of you watching who are kind of more technically advanced and want to do your own algo strategies, definitely be sure to join Liquid's Discord. The link is in the chat, and I think it's in your description as well. I can post the link again. But if you guys want to help him work on his strategies, we can. If it's a good strategy, we can help you list it on our platform and on our marketplace as well. And you guys can receive a profit share, or you guys can receive a subscription cost if you guys want to do a subscription cost if it's a really good strategy. So for those of you who want to make your own strategies, definitely join the Discord, and we can, work with Liquid. I know he would definitely love more eyes on his strategies as well.
Cool.
And do you guys have any more questions? If you guys have questions, leave it in the chat. We can go over some questions now. And if you don't, I will ask some more questions myself.
So one of the things with the Ichimoku, if people want to use that, I think that one's based off one of the patron strategies. But what I want to do with most of the strategies is list them for free if people are using the referral link, and then I just want to waive the subscription cost and just release a lot more strategies. So I was actually going to ask you, Jay, about that question about putting the marketplace at the very top.
No, we're gonna do that. Right? We just have to revamp the site. Definitely going to put this at the top. 100%.
Awesome. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. It's hard to find. It's hard to find right now. But we kind of released it super quick. You know what I mean? So we were just like, all right, we're just gonna get this out. So now it's not organized on the website, but we're definitely gonna rework that. Okay, so questions from Pi. Would you do some profit sharing instead of monthly fee? You can. Oh, I think that's a question for you, right?
I might consider doing that. I'd have to think about what the amount would be. A lot of the strategies that I've seen on the marketplace are around like 20%. I don't know if that's high or not, because I've never really considered doing it, but I know a lot of traders would prefer just doing that rather than a flat fee.
Cool. And Nam asks, do you have any suggestions or tips for PineScript beginners?
Yeah, so the way that I learned, it's really dry to think about and boring to think about reading the whole PineScript version 5 manual. Now if you did that, you would learn. That's the best way, just to read. So if you just Google PineScript version 5 manual, it'll come up, and it's a lot to get through. But the way that I learned that was more engaging was I would find a strategy that I liked, and then I would I would open up the source code, and then I figured out how it was working by working backwards through it, because I really wanted to understand the inner workings of it. So if there's a long rule, or if there's like a color that's plotting on the chart, I would look at that color and I would say, okay, look at that variable. Okay, then I would look at where that variable comes from, and then I would work backwards through it all the way back to the very beginning. And that's kind of how I learned that. And then I supplemented it with reading, but I just started out really wanting to understand how there's some of my favorite Pine coders, my favorite strategies out there, that I just wanted to understand how these guys work. And I think on TradingView, they give you a role now. If you're a really big contributor, they give you a wizard role. So it's like above the top VIP role. So they hand out
wizard.
Yeah.
So basically, you would do just like look at some of the open source stuff, and kind of like work backwards and see how they did it. Okay? Yeah. That's very interesting.
You have to there has to be the value in it for you. So if you have a goal with what you're doing, so let's say you have a strategy that you've made a lot of money trading manually, and you want to start applying that to automated trading. So you could keep doing it manually and winning, but at a certain point, maybe you want to take a step back and then maybe put 5% of your trading account into a bot, and then if that does well, then increase it from there, like to 10%. See how it does. But you have to have the goal first, I think, to have the motivation. Otherwise, there's not really a reason. You have to give yourself a reason to do it. So if there's something you really like, a strategy that you really like, that you see other people using successfully, then you can that should be enough of a reason to want to decode someone else's work and not steal from them, but learn from them. And I think that's at least how I did it.
Yeah, understood. That's a very good way. Thanks for sharing that. Aspect asks, when are you gonna make the premium strategy open sourced?
It is open source. I have a WAP account. It's wap.com/trade tactics, and it works just like Patreon. So if you sign up for the $25 tier, you get access to a bunch of the open source premium ones.
Nice. And the I don't know how to pronounce this. Deep SAR. What spread is considered in backtesting?
What do you? Well, it depends what you mean by spread, right? What do you think he means, Jay? By
Actually, I think I think it's based off of closing price, right?
yes, I think it's closing price. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the spread is not as important because it's like literally this closing price of the candle. So in the back testing, it's literally the prices that are traded on. So especially if you're doing Bitcoins, the spread should not be a big deal at all because we're not going for pennies here. Let's see. Aspect asks, can you share the link to your thing? Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
That link should go through.
Sounds good. Do you guys have any more questions? Or do you actually? I have a question. I guess. How do you want to kind of? I don't know if you want to. Can you like share a quick process of how you use ChatGPT or Pionex GPT to kind of optimize some just like a maybe how do you optimize your code? I know we talked about it a little bit.
Yep. I do have a video on this, and I think I'm going to need to do a more detailed version of it. But the overview of it was that currently, at least at the making of that video, ChatGPT couldn't connect to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's really cool, so Bing has their own, Microsoft has their own version of ChatGPT, and I tried that out, and it could connect to the internet. So it would go and like take some code from the public database similar to what you described, and then it would start modifying from there, which is really cool because it's working off a backbone. And what I had initially used ChatGPT for was I'd supply it with a template code that I was already working with. So if there's an indicator you really like and you want to convert that into a working strategy, then it can really work with it. But it can't build from scratch really. It just doesn't know how to do that yet. So I'm assuming over in the next models that they're releasing that it will get better, significantly better. So for now, it can't do everything that we hope and dream, but it's really effective already. And I think that just by learning how to make a strategy with it that doesn't have compilation errors is really a useful tool to even just know how to do, especially for the future. It's a skill that I think like working with AI is going to become a really important skill. So pasting into your ChatGPT prompt, that's typically where I'll start. I'll ask it, hey, this is the code and these are the rules that I want. So can you build rules based off my natural language for this strategy or for this indicator?
So okay, so I think after watching there's also a couple more. Questions, but I think what's it called? I think in your video, I watched that video. It's you would post the code for the indicator. You wouldn't want like ChatGPT or Pionex GPT to recreate the indicator. You would kind of post the code for the indicator and tell it to optimize it or how to add it in, right?
Yeah. So I'd ask it, you have to specifically tell it, use this code, do not use external code. And then it'll start modifying from there.
I see. Yeah, so that's very important. That's very interesting part. Apparently you cannot let ChatGPT or you can use Pionex GPT or whatever to code the whole thing for you. It's going to get confused and there's going to be a lot of bugs. You would rather just put in the code that already works and let it optimize it, right?
Yep. So the AI is extremely good at microtasks, but very bad at those macro tasks.
So what
in
would you
general.
ask it to do? Like, would you ask it to kind of like find different ways to optimize a strategy? Like once it already has the basic bare bones of the strategy?
Yep. So if you have a if you have like an Ichimoku indicator, and I built this in one of my videos. I took the Ichimoku indicator and asked ChatGPT. I worked with it. I converted it into a strategy, and then it suggested the rules to use for the long and short conditions. So I didn't have to do any of that, and that to me was the most useful part.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay.
Because it generally knows how Ichimoku Cloud is supposed to work.
Yeah.
Because based on the data that it already does know about what Ichimoku Cloud is, it knows that there's several different lines, the cloud, and when you break above the cloud, then you can enter a long or a short. So it already knew that, and it knew what variables the indicator was referring to. So it just did that for me. So in that sense, I didn't necessarily even need to know how to code, which that was the most mind-blowing part for me, that it was able to do that.
So
But
it's
it
good
could,
to
yeah,
it's
that's
good
more of the micro task, but not it wouldn't know how to code the
right.
whole Ichimoku strategy yet.
So it's good to suggest these hey, what rules should I be testing? And then just go copy it over and back test it, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's very cool. So if you guys look at Pionex GPT, this is made for a Pine script. Even though it still has like errors sometimes. But if you want to play around with it, there's some prompts. You're like, hey, please write me a Ichimoku cloud strategy, and then you can see it go right with all this code and stuff without you doing anything. I can't write this. This is crazy. It just writes all this for you, and then once you have it, maybe you could optimize it, be like, hey, add I don't know, what would you do? You would put in, let's say you want to add a RSI condition, you would put in the code for the RSI first, right?
Yep. Well, the best thing going into this, I'll quickly answer this question, chat. Someone's asking you could use this for other stocks, not just crypto. Yes, you can. So like blue chip stocks or other, yes, these strategies work on many different assets. You just have to retune that strategy, find a time frame that is not too difficult for the specific algo. But not every algo will work on every single one. For
Right.
example, like if there's a 200 EMA and an asset really respects the 200 EMA, then you're gonna have, if your strategy incorporates 200 EMA, you're gonna do really well. But that, like, not every market works that same way.
Right.
So back to this, yeah, you could ask it to explain the code. If you want to click just explain the code. Now, network error. Okay, so I think
so this lagged out.
refresh.
You have to do it quick. Yeah. So boom, please write me a Ichimoku cloud strategy. Write me something a lot. Explain the code. So yeah, I guess it also explains the code to you in English, readable language. So, and it says this script uses an exponential moving average of 200 period as additional filter.
That's
So
my favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty. This explains it to you if you don't know how it works. But let me say, let add an RSI condition. Is that how you would put it? Add an RSI.
Yep. The more specific you get, the better. So the way RSI works is it goes from 0 to 100. So if it's below 50, then on that you might be bearish. You would also, so you could consider, if the RSI must be increasing or the RSI must be decreasing to enter a short, or you can have the RSI must be over 50 or under 50, or the RSI cannot be overbought when you're entering a long because maybe you're entering near a peak. There are a lot of ways to do that, and what you would want to, you can actually ask ChatGPT for all those, right? It would give you those if you don't know what the range of things you could ask it to do for, but you could ask it to do, and you should ask it to do every single one of those, and then go and test every single one of those.
Okay, yeah. So that's very cool. You can ask ChatGPT what you can do with the RSI for entry and exit conditions, and then maybe pay and then just test out. So right now, I kind of know what the RSI does. I'm going to say add in RSI condition for entry when it goes above the 30 line from below. Oh my God, it timed out again. It times out very quick. We have to change that. But that's basically how it works. Write me a Ichimoku cloud strategy. Please add an entry condition when the RSI goes above the 30 line. And then it just modifies the code for you. So I would say you don't want it to rewrite the whole code because it's very slow. You would just be like, hey, give me this specific. I think you actually put this in your video. You'd be like, give me this specific line of code so it doesn't take hours to write out the new code.
Yeah. So in this one, it's the variables there.
RSI period.
Yeah, right, it's like the long underscore entry equals. So it would have to add in an RSI. And now if you tested this and it was unsuccessful, the workaround would be, because it's adding in an RSI for you right here. Now it looks okay. That looks okay, the RSI that you're adding in so far. At least it's in Pionex version 5, I can tell. So that's okay. But if it wasn't, then you would have to paste in your own RSI. So you'd go to TradingView, public database, copy like your favorite RSI, paste that into below your prompt. So like add in this code and then add in this rule to the long and short entries.
Yeah. So definitely do the method that Liquid is talking about, because it's easier and there's less errors if you give it the code to add, and then just let it be like, hey, do an entry. It's easier and way better that way. So basically this is, how the ChatGPT works. But of course, definitely watch Liquid's video for a more in-depth explanation. But so I hope everybody kind of understands how he uses ChatGPT to help him, modify strategies.
Yeah, there's a lot of info covered. Yes, the live's going to be saved, so you can view it after the live ends. It should take a little bit of processing time, but then it'll be up.
Yeah, and while this is generating, and it doesn't really matter what this generates, we're just showing you how it works. Someone asked a question, Cass, copy trading in general, say on Phemex, that the combination of fees and profit share is putting me in the negative, even with the best traders. How is this playing out with your bots?
It depends on how long you've been in it. So copy trading is historically very lucrative. So it depends who you're copying. Really, there are traders you could copy that are profitable or not. So it depends, one, on how you're choosing them, and two, like everyone has drawdown. So there's going to be a natural drawdown period. So if you think you're beyond that natural window of like a grace period. So for example, if someone wanted to get funded as a trader, they could be granted an account, and then you're allowed like 8% drawdown. So if someone's above that, but you should be able to look at all their stats and stuff.
Yeah, so I would say our fees are very low, and there is no profit share. Well, I mean, for some of the bots, there's a profit share. For some of them, they're free, right? Like Liquid has some free bots, but so in combination with, if you're copying a free bot, right? If you're copying the free bot, then we're not taking profit share, and it's just fees. But when you trade, there are fees everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. There's always going to be commission fees. So that's just a part of trading. So with that, I would just say it's like we talked about this earlier in the live. There's going to be drawdowns. Like if you copy at a wrong time, it might draw down 20%. But overall, in the history, right? In the history that this bot has worked, it has gradually went up, right? Went up, whatever, 4x, 5x, 1x, but it's over the period of time, it's in profit. There's no guarantee that it's going to stay profitable forever because nobody can see the future. But if you trust the history is going to repeat itself, then this bot should perform well over a period of 1 or 2 years, right? So if you draw down 20% in the last month, then it kind of, that's kind of, you just kind of have to sit through that, right? Because
there's also things you could do to be resilient to drawdown. One of them is diversification. So if you're noticing like a particular week is really bad, or it's like a string of weeks, then reduce that investment size and then allocate funds to different coins. So if you're using a breakout strategy, which is my favorite kind of strategy, like the Ichimoku Cloud, Bollinger Band strategy, those function based off when the money was really moving. So it's taking advantage of that big window of price action where a human trader might not want to go in. They might think it's too risky, but the bot doesn't have those emotions. So yeah, one is diversification to reduce the drawdown. You want to be trading coins that are moving. And so like let's say you're trading Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going flat. Well, there are other coins that are moving during that time window. So if you have bots that are working on Bitcoin and other obviously like good backtested coins, then you should ultimately balance out. And then when it's not altcoin season, for example, like if you're keeping an eye out on what the Bitcoin dominance is, historically, if more money's in Bitcoin, then Bitcoin's going to be going up. If less money's in Bitcoin, then altcoins are like it's flowing into altcoins. So you can always keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance chart on TradingView. I think that's just BTC.D.
BTC.D. Yeah. Yep. BTC.D.
I think if you go to all, yeah, there. So right now it's really strong. So Bitcoin's thriving right now, but typically when this chart's going down, it means money's pulling out of Bitcoin, and that typically goes to one of two places. Either investors are putting into their private wallets, profiting, taking out of Bitcoin, or they're transferring it into altcoins. So when this chart's like plummeting, or if it drops below a certain amount, usually that 30-40% amount is like really low. So 50% of all funds that are in crypto right now it's around 47% are in Bitcoin, which is really strong.
Right.
So there are other ways you could take a look. Like you can keep tabs on which bots to have active, which coin to pick, right? Like there's also the Ethereum dominance chart. You can look at which ones are. You could also place trend lines and then turn on a bot on a particular coin once it breaks a certain trend line. Those are the kinds of things to look out for, especially like on this Bitcoin dominance chart. You could see that like there's some really strong downtrends that you could have drawn downtrend lines on and done your TA. And as soon as it breaks above that, then it's like, okay, I'm turning on my Bitcoin bot, and it would have worked out. So the bot it wouldn't necessarily just enter a long as soon as you turn it on, but it would start to look for those long entries or start to look for big trades.
So okay, So it just really yeah. It just depends. It's a little bit of knowing the market as well. You can't just expect it to do everything for you.
Yep. Someone's asking, is Pionex compatible with proprietary trading?
I'm not really sure what that means, but you can do manual trading on here. You can do futures trading. You can do, for example, this thing's telling me I signed out, which is not true. It goes to futures. You guys can like do prop, I guess, like yourself. Or if you have strategies, you guys can hook it up directly into Pionex. Like we said, if you guys have strategies, you guys can list it here. Or or you don't have to list it. You can connect it and trade it yourself on your own account. So in that way, yeah, I guess it is compatible with prop. But yeah, we have a futures market. We got Pepe. People like to trade meme coins. We got Lido, Optimism, Sui, meme, all that kind of stuff. We got Pepe. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of coins except for trading bots as well. And I think someone else asked, Victor asked, what is a strategy for someone who cannot afford losing more than 50 USD?
Well, it depends what your investment amount is then. I mean, if you only have 50 USD, then that would be 100% loss. So any strategy that doesn't have 100% drawdown. But if you're putting in $500, then that would be your total, your shut off line. So it depends how much you're investing. It really depends.
Yeah. So if you have $50, you put $50 in a strategy, it's probably not going to lose 100% of that $50 unless you, yeah. So that's basically just, if you don't want to lose more than 50, just put 50 in to one strategy. But the returns are always also going to be small, but at least you kind of learn, right? If you don't want to lose $50.
Yeah. But the
Ask,
general rule of thumb is to not really, well, every investment is at risk. You're exposing yourself to the market. So, in general,
yeah.
only trade with money you really can't afford to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And Aspect Loss asked, "How can I use some of your bots for free? I already signed up with Pionex for 2 years." So he's gonna be posting. Liquid is gonna be posting new, like, more different strategies that should be free or for profit share. And we already have there is already a free one on the marketplace, so you can access that aspect. And let's see, Abduella asked, "What if I copy a trader and he leaves the exchange?" So let's say if you copy a bot and the bot leaves an exchange, no one's gonna take your money because that money is stored in your account. You're just making the trades, so there's no risk of you losing your money at all. Let's just do one more question. Victor asks again, in the bot, can you adjust the take profit and loss like a risk of 2-to-1 ratio?
Yes, you can. And the 2-to-1 ratio is typically that's what I learned when I was learning to trade. Is you want to risk, only 1 to 2% of your account, preferably 1%, and then you want to have a 2-to-1 risk ratio. So you only want to enter trades where there's a significant enough upside. Now with bots, the 2-to-1 risk ratio is gold. If you can find one that good, then definitely continue using it. I try to just tip the needle above the 50%, because on net it'll have win loss, but then it'll have like win eventually. So you're collecting and scraping money from the market. So I don't like the 2-to-1 risk ratio. You could do your own back testing and calculate this on your own. But yes, you could change your take profit and stop loss to a 2-to-1 risk ratio. It's just the stats are going to change based on that, based on what the strategy is doing. And then it's pretty easy to uncover the reason why it might change. So if you have a 2-to-1 risk ratio, like stop loss 1%, take profit 2%, maybe the trade needs more breathing room, so you adjust it wider, so you have 2-to-4. And so if you lose, you only lose 2%. If you win 4%. So that would still work, but the back testing is going to tell you whether that actually works or not, which is pretty cool. So it's you. I don't recommend just accepting the 2-to-1 risk ratio at face value without understanding why it would be that number, or if that's realistically achievable. And
So yeah.
that's the benefit of using back testing.
Yeah, so you can directly set a 2-to-1 risk and reward if you want directly on your bot. That's like up to you. But Liquid, he probably has his own, like, whatever kind of settings set in to see, oh, maybe it wouldn't even be a 2-to-1 and I would take a loss, and maybe it's a 4-to-1. So it just depends if you want to do that, but it might mess with the strategy. And let's do one more question. Aspect asked, can Pionex add more personal adjustments on copying? What do you mean more adjustments? Can you tell us some more adjustments? Like right now we have the take profit and stop loss. I'm not sure. Like we have leverage. You can change the leverage, but that's definitely based on if it is a good thing to add the leverage, because the strategy might not built to be adding 5x leverage, and you can blow your account if you do 5x leverage. But that's just the type. Aspect ask, like, I can choose my own take profit and stop loss. You can already do that, I believe. So if you go to the market, Pionex GPT marketplace, let's say I want to copy the free one that Trade Tactics has, which is right here. Right. So I subscribe to it. Why is it telling me to sign in again? This is so weird. All right. Right here. Trade tactics. Right here. So, okay, great. Let me just sign in again. I don't know why it's telling me to sign in. I just signed in. All right, cool.
You can choose your own take profit and stop loss, though.
Yeah. So, for example, right, for this one, you can choose your own leverage, right? You can choose the coin, which is only this one because it's meant to do this one. And then if you go to advanced settings right here, you expand it, it has take profit ratio per trade and stop loss ratio per trade. So you already have that. You can already have set that yourself. So I guess the personal adjustment is already added aspect. But yeah, I think no problem. And this live stream will be recorded. Yes. I think we're going to end it there, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for the questions. That was really good interaction from you guys, and we really appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining the live stream, and I want to thank Liquid for co-hosting it with me and just coming on and teaching traders about your strategy and how you code it as like kind of like a pro algo trader and how we can get similar results as you and yourself.
Yeah, awesome. And I'll just add one more question because it seems like people are wondering about the take profit stop loss. These are things, those are things you could and should be backtesting. So there are the open source codes you can input, and then you could play around with the take profit in TradingView, and then that can help you make a more informed decision about what advanced settings to choose within Pionex.
So the 50% take profit, 20% loss would not be good. That would definitely not be good because then you're risking 25% of your account each time, right? That's how it works, right?
It's too wide. Like there's not always going to be a 50% pump. Like just because you set that as the take profit doesn't mean it'll necessarily hit it. You might miss it.
Right,
so
right.
It can't be too narrow, meaning you got to have room for the trade to breathe, but it can't be too wide either.
Right.
So backtesting helps you figure out what that window is.
Yeah, Victor, you have to test it yourself. It might be a little more complex, but if you don't have money to lose, I would definitely go into testing because that's kind of like you're basically trading for free, right? You're getting the results from the past of how the strategy would have worked without risking your money.
Also, this is the first time I've gone live on the Trade Tactics channel, so I hope to do more. If you guys liked it, then hit the thumbs up button, and I'll know that you guys all liked it, and I'll do more of them.
Yes, sir. Hit the thumbs up. We got a lot of thumbs up. You got, and that we really like to see that. I think they would like to see you doing more live. A lot of people join on our channel as well, so it's definitely great to see.
And I'm open to suggestions too. I might just run bots live and show what the bot's doing live. That might be really cool. And then I can go back and forth to see what the different bots are doing on different days. I might do things like that as well. But let me know, guys. Yeah, comment, add comments, make suggestions. I'm open to doing what you guys want to see.
Yeah, I'm going to post the links to Discord, our YouTube, if you guys want to subscribe and follow me as well. And then, thank you guys for joining. Let me post all the links in the chat. And I hope you guys got something valuable off this. And I hope to have Liquid on more in the future. Let me add your Discord in the chat as well. And let us know if you guys enjoyed that. Let me see. Just wait around for the links now. And of course, be sure to sign up through Liquid's link. If you guys like that and you guys want to use his check out his bots for free. Let's see, Discord.
That's the Discord server. So
Twitter. And then I'll post your link again in the chat.
That's your Twitter?
That's my Twitter.
Trades. I'm gonna give you a follow.
Yeah, I'll follow you back. And here's the referral link in the chat. All right, cool, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me on, Jay.
Of course. Peace out, guys.